Hey everyone! Today I'm diving into one of the most profound stories ever told, the creation story from Genesis. In Genesis January 1st 31 and 2:13, we see the incredible narrative of how God created the world in 6 days. On day 1 God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, separating day from night. Day 2 brought the sky, separating the waters above from those below. Then on day 3, dry land emerged, and with it all sorts of vegetation. By day 4, God created the sun, moon, and stars to light up the sky. Moving on to day 5, he filled the seas with creatures and the skies with birds. Day 6 was particularly special. God created land animals, and most importantly, humans. That's right. He made us in his image, and gave us dominion over all living things. He also provided plants as food for both humans and animals. Throughout the creation process, God paused and saw that each part was good. And after the 6th day, he looked at everything he had made and declared it very good. Finally, on day 7, God rested, setting a precedent for the Sabbath, a day of rest and reflection. This story not only highlights the power and intentionality of God's creation, but also emphasizes our role and responsibility within it. We are called to be stewards of this incredible world he has made. So, whether you're a lifelong believer, or just exploring spirituality, the creation story offers a beautiful reminder of the origins of life, and the divine purpose each of us carries. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today, I want to take you on a journey back to the very beginning of humanity with the story of Adam and Eve as told in Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth and everything within them. On the 7th day, he rested, making it holy. God then formed Adam from dust and breathed the breath of life into him. He placed Adam in the Garden of Eden, a paradise filled with every kind of tree, including the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now Adam had one rule: do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If he did, he would surely die. Seeing that Adam needed a companion, God created Eve from one of Adam's ribs. Together, they enjoyed the beauty and bounty of Eden. But then, the serpent, the craftiest of all creatures, tempted Eve. He convinced her that eating the fruit from the forbidden tree would make her like God, knowing good and evil. Eve took the fruit and ate it, and she gave some to Adam, who also ate. Immediately they realized their nakedness and felt shame. They covered themselves with fig leaves and hid from God. When confronted, Adam and Eve admitted their disobedience. As a result, God cursed the serpent to crawl on its belly and be at odds with humanity. Eve would experience pain in childbirth and be subordinate to her husband. Adam would toil and labor for food until he returned to dust. Despite their disobedience, Adam named his wife Eve, meaning life, for she would become the mother of all living. God then banished them from Eden and placed cherubim and a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life. This story reminds us of the consequences of our choices and the enduring hope in God's grace. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. See you next time.
Hey everyone, today, let's dive into one of the most intense and emotional stories from the Bible, Cain and Abel. It's a tale of brotherhood, jealousy, and consequences. So, picture this. Cain and Abel are the very first siblings in human history. Cain, the older brother, is a farmer, while Abel, his younger brother, tends sheep. When it's time to make offerings to God, Cain brings some of his crops, but Abel brings his very best sheep. God accepts Abel's offering but rejects Cain's, and Cain is furious. Now God sees Cain's anger and warns him, "Watch out for sin, it's crouching at your door, eager to control you." But Cain doesn't listen. Driven by jealousy, he lures Abel out into a field and kills him, the first murder. God confronts Cain, asking, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain responds, "Am I my brother's keeper?" But God knows what happened and punishes Cain, cursing the ground he works so it won't yield crops for him anymore. Cain is doomed to wander the earth. Frightened, Cain cries out, fearing others will kill him for his crime, but God, even in his anger, shows mercy. He marks Cain to protect him from harm. Cain is exiled, living in the land of Nod, meaning wandering. This tragic story is a powerful lesson about the destructive power of envy and the importance of mastering our emotions. It also shows God's justice and mercy even when we fall short. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Genesis. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's continue exploring these ancient stories together. See you next time. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm diving into one of the most compelling stories from the Bible, Noah's Ark and the Great Flood, found in Genesis chapters 6 to 9. Buckle up, because this is a story packed with drama, divine intervention, and a powerful message of hope and renewal. So, what kicked off this colossal event? God saw humanity's wickedness and regretted creating them. Violence filled the earth and God decided to wipe the slate clean. But in the midst of all this, one man stood out, Noah. Described as righteous and blameless, Noah found favor in God's eyes. God gave Noah a monumental task: build an ark to save his family and a selection of animals from the coming flood. The ark had to be massive, made of cypress wood and coated in pitch inside and out. Once built, Noah, his family, and pairs of animals, 7 pairs of clean and 1 pair of unclean, were to board this gigantic vessel. Then came the flood. Rain fell for 40 days and 40 nights, but the waters didn't recede for a total of 150 days. The ark finally rested on the mountains of Ararat. To find dry land, Noah released a raven and then a dove multiple times. Eventually the dove returned with an olive leaf, signaling the earth was drying up. Once the floodwaters receded, God made a covenant with Noah. He promised never to destroy all life with a flood again, and set a rainbow in the sky as a sign of this covenant. God blessed Noah and his sons, granting them dominion over animals and permitting the consumption of meat, with one condition: no consuming blood. And finally, Noah's story wraps up with a bit of a twist. He plants a vineyard, gets drunk, and ends up cursing his grandson Canaan. Noah lived 350 years after the flood, passing away at the ripe old age of 950. So there you have it, a deep dive into the story of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood. This tale is rich with themes of judgment, mercy, and renewal, offering timeless lessons for us all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the Bible. See you next time.
Hey everyone, today I'm diving into one of the most intriguing stories from the Bible, the Tower of Babel. This story comes from Genesis 11:1-9. Let's set the scene. At this time, everyone on earth spoke the same language. Can you imagine? Communication was seamless. People decided to migrate east and settled in a land called Babylonia. With unity and ambition, they began a grand project, building a city with a tower that reached the sky. They wanted to make a name for themselves and avoid being scattered across the earth. But their plan had a twist. God saw what they were doing and noticed their unity. He knew that with such unity, nothing would be impossible for them. So God decided to intervene. He confused their language, making it impossible for them to understand each other. Imagine trying to build something when you can't communicate with your team. The construction of the city and its towering ambition came to a halt. God then scattered the people all over the world. The place was named Babel, which means confusion, because that's where God confused the language of the whole world. This story carries a powerful message about the limits of human ambition and the importance of humility. It's a reminder that while unity is powerful, it's also essential to align our ambitions with a higher purpose. So next time you think of reaching for the sky, remember the story of Babel. It's not just about what we build, but how and why we build it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time. Hey everyone, today we'll dive into one of the most gripping tales from the Bible. Abraham's journey from his calling to the covenant, spanning Genesis chapters 12 to 25. It's a story rich with faith, deception, battles, and divine promises. So, buckle up as we explore the psychological depths of this epic narrative. It all begins with Abram, a 75-year-old man, called by God to leave his homeland. Imagine the turmoil, leaving everything behind for an unknown land. Yet, Abram obeys, taking his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all their possessions. They reach Canaan, where God promises to give the land to Abram's descendants. He builds altars in Shechem and Bethel, marking his faith. But the journey isn't smooth. Fearing for his life in Egypt, Abram tells Pharaoh that Sarai is his sister. Pharaoh takes her, leading to plagues on his household until the truth is revealed. This episode isn't just about deception, it's about survival and the lengths Abram goes to protect himself and Sarai. Back in Canaan, Abram and Lot's herdsmen clash over grazing land. They separate, with Lot choosing the fertile Jordan Valley and Abram staying in Canaan. Here, God reaffirms his promise, showing Abram all the land he will inherit and promising countless descendants. Then comes the war, a dramatic rescue mission. Lot is captured during a battle between kings. Abram, with just 318 trained men, sets out to rescue him. They succeed, and Abram encounters Melchizedek, the king of Salem, who blesses him. Despite the victory, Abram refuses any reward from the king of Sodom, choosing instead to honor Melchizedek with 1/10 of the spoils. God then makes a covenant with Abram, promising him a son and countless descendants. Abram performs a ritual sacrifice, and God reveals that his descendants will be enslaved for 400 years before inheriting the land. The weight of this vision must have been immense, yet Abram's faith remains steadfast. Sarai, unable to bear children, gives her Egyptian slave Hagar to Abram. Hagar conceives and bears Ishmael. It's a decision filled with emotional complexity, highlighting the desperate lengths they go to fulfill God's promise. God changes Abram's name to Abraham and Sarai's to Sarah, promising them a son named Isaac. The covenant of circumcision is established, marking a new chapter in their journey. 3 visitors seen as angels promise Sarah a son. She laughs in disbelief, yet the promise holds. Amidst this, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah looms. Abraham pleads with God to spare the city if righteous people are found. Lot, warned by angels, escapes with his family, but his wife looks back and becomes a pillar of salt. The cities are destroyed, a stark reminder of divine judgment. Abraham's faith is tested further when God commands him to sacrifice Isaac. Abraham prepares to obey, but an angel stops him at the last moment, reaffirming God's promise and providing a ram for the sacrifice. The saga concludes with Sarah's death, the purchase of a burial site, and the marriage of Isaac to Rebekah. Abraham's journey, filled with trials and triumphs, offers profound psychological insights into faith, obedience, and divine promises. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Abraham's epic journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more thrilling biblical tales. Until next time. Hey everyone, today I'm diving into the thrilling journey of Jacob and Isaac, based on Genesis chapters 21 to 35. Let's embark on this adventure together. Firstly, the miraculous birth of Isaac. God keeps his promise to Abraham and Sarah, blessing them with a son, Isaac. But it's not all smooth sailing. Sarah demands Abraham to send Hagar and her son Ishmael away. Despite the heartbreak, God assures Abraham that Ishmael will be blessed too. In a dramatic twist, Hagar and Ishmael are saved by God in the desert. And next, we have one of the most intense tests of faith. God commands Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. Imagine the agony. But Abraham's faith is unwavering. Just as he's about to do it, an angel stops him, and instead, he sacrifices a ram. God reaffirms his promise of abundant descendants. Now Sarah's death and the establishment of a family burial site. At age 127, Sarah passes away. Abraham buys the cave of Machpelah, creating a sacred family burial ground. Isaac grows up, and it's time for his marriage. Abraham ensures Isaac marries someone from his own people. His servant finds Rebekah at a well. Fast forward, Rebekah becomes Isaac's beloved wife. Abraham's later life sees him remarrying Keturah and having more children. He ensures Isaac inherits everything. Abraham dies at 175, buried beside Sarah, leaving a lasting legacy. Then comes the dramatic tale of Jacob and Esau. Twin brothers, but oh so different. Jacob, the quiet one, and Esau, the fierce hunter. Jacob buys Esau's birthright and later tricks their blind father Isaac into giving him Esau's blessing, infuriating Esau. Jacob's journey to escape Esau's wrath takes him to Bethel, where he dreams of a ladder reaching to heaven. God reaffirms his covenant, and Jacob names the place Bethel, meaning house of God. Jacob's marriages are nothing short of a soap opera. He works 7 years for Rachel, but is tricked into marrying Leah. Another 7 years later, he marries Rachel. Between Leah, Rachel, and their maids, Jacob fathers 12 sons and 1 daughter. Jacob's departure from Laban is marked by tension and a covenant. Accused of theft, they eventually make peace, parting ways after marking the covenant with a pile of stones. The night before meeting Esau, Jacob wrestles with a mysterious figure, possibly God. His name is changed to Israel, meaning he who strives with God. Finally, the reconciliation with Esau is heartwarming. They meet, embrace, and accept each other's gifts, putting their past behind them. The journey ends with Jacob's return to Bethel. He purifies his household, builds an altar, and solidifies his commitment to God. And there you have it, the epic journey of Jacob and Isaac in Genesis 21 to 35. A tale of faith, family, and divine promises. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more epic tales from the Bible. Jacob loved Joseph deeply. He was the son of his old age, a gift from God. Jacob showed his favoritism, openly gifting Joseph a beautiful, multicolored coat. This act, born out of love, ignited a firestorm of jealousy in Joseph's brothers. They saw the coat as a symbol of preference, a sign that Joseph would inherit their father's wealth and power. The brothers' resentment deepened when Joseph shared his dreams. He dreamt of sheaves of wheat bowing to his sheaf. He dreamt of the sun, moon, and stars bowing before him. These dreams, innocent as they were, fueled his brothers' rage. They saw them as a claim to superiority, a threat to their own position in the family. One day the brothers were tending sheep far from home. Jacob sent Joseph to check on them. Seeing him approach, the brothers saw their chance. They ripped off his coat, the symbol of their father's love, and threw him into a dry well. Then a caravan of traders passed by. The brothers, seeing an opportunity for profit, pulled Joseph from the well and sold him into slavery. They returned to their father with a lie, presenting him with the blood-stained coat, claiming a wild animal had killed his beloved son. Jacob was devastated. His grief was immeasurable. Joseph, now a slave, was taken to Egypt. He was bought by Potiphar, a high-ranking official in Pharaoh's court. Even in this foreign land, far from home and family, God's favor rested on Joseph. He was hardworking and trustworthy, and Potiphar recognized his worth. Joseph was soon put in charge of Potiphar's entire household. However, Joseph's life took another turn when Potiphar's wife falsely accused him of assault. Joseph, a man of integrity, had refused her advances, choosing to remain faithful to God and his master. The consequences were swift and severe. Joseph was thrown into prison, his good name tarnished. Despite this injustice, Joseph never lost faith. He served his time with dignity and grace, and even in the darkness of prison, God's light shone upon him. The warden noticed Joseph's diligence and wisdom and put him in charge of the other prisoners. Joseph's ability to interpret dreams soon became known within the prison walls. One night, Pharaoh was troubled by vivid dreams. He dreamt of 7 fat cows devoured by 7 thin cows. He dreamt of 7 healthy ears of grain scorched by 7 withered ones. These dreams, filled with strange and disturbing imagery, left Pharaoh shaken. None of his wise men or magicians could offer a satisfactory interpretation. It was then that the cupbearer, who had been imprisoned alongside Joseph, remembered the young man who had interpreted his own dream. Pharaoh summoned Joseph. Standing before the most powerful man in Egypt, Joseph remained calm and humble. He listened intently as Pharaoh recounted his dreams. Joseph, guided by God's wisdom, interpreted the dreams with clarity and certainty. He prophesied 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of severe famine. Pharaoh, impressed by Joseph's insight, recognized him as a man touched by God. He appointed Joseph as his second in command, entrusting him with the responsibility of preparing Egypt for the coming years. The years of plenty came and went, just as Joseph had predicted. He oversaw the storage of vast quantities of grain, ensuring Egypt would be prepared for the lean years ahead. Then the famine struck. It spread far and wide, reaching even the land of Canaan, where Joseph's family resided. Word reached Jacob that there was grain in Egypt. He sent his sons, Joseph's brothers, to buy food. When they arrived at the palace, they bowed low before the powerful governor, unaware that he was the brother they had betrayed so many years ago. Joseph recognized his brothers instantly. However, he also recognized an opportunity to test their hearts, to see if they had changed. He spoke harshly to them, accusing them of being spies. He demanded they bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, as proof of their honesty. The brothers, desperate to save their family from starvation, agreed. Joseph's heart ached for his family, especially for his younger brother Benjamin. He longed to reveal himself to them, but knew the time was not yet right. When his brothers returned to Egypt with Benjamin, Joseph set a trap, planting a silver cup in Benjamin's bag. He then accused Benjamin of theft, mirroring the false accusation that had landed him in prison. Judah, the brother who had once suggested selling Joseph into slavery, now stepped forward. He pleaded for Benjamin's release offering himself as a slave in his place. This act of selflessness, this willingness to sacrifice himself for another, showed Joseph that his brothers had truly changed. Overcome with emotion, Joseph could no longer conceal his identity. He revealed himself to his brothers, tears streaming down his face. The brothers were stunned, filled with guilt and shame, but Joseph, filled with God's grace, offered them forgiveness. He urged them to let go of the past and embrace a future filled with love and reconciliation. Joseph brought his entire family to Egypt, where they settled in the land of Goshen. He cared for them throughout the famine, ensuring their well-being. In time, Jacob died, but not before blessing his sons, including Joseph, and witnessing the fulfillment of God's promises. Joseph lived a long and prosperous life in Egypt. He forgave his brothers, demonstrating the transformative power of grace. He saved his family, fulfilling the destiny God had planned for him, and through it all, he remained a beacon of faith, a testament to God's unwavering love and providence. Even in the darkest of times, even when faced with betrayal and hardship, Joseph's story reminds us that God is always with us, working all things together for good.